and thanks for joining me for this practice. It's going to be a nice simple one, so for those days when you feel like you just need to move but you don't have a lot of energy to expend. So whether that's because you're feeling a bit tired or a bit run down or just you're feeling a little bit lazy, it's still nice to move the body. And as always, if you have any questions about anything, just pop them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So we're going to start just by sitting comfortably cross-legged. Place your hands on your knees with your palms down and just let your elbows drop back by the sides of your body. And I'd like you to close your eyes and just take a little mental scan through your body. Try to feel your sit bones pressing down but the crown of your head lifting up. And see if you can just relax your face and your shoulders and your jaw. Breathing through your nose both in and out. Just start to make your breath a little bit smoother. Remember, your breath is an essential part of the practice, helping to direct your attention within, to cultivate an inner focus. So I want you to keep your hands on your knees and just start to move your head in little circles. You might get some interesting noises from your neck, nothing to worry about. Try to be fairly smooth and circular rather than worrying about how fast you're going. And just gently pause for a moment and then circle your head back the other way. Remembering the neck and the shoulders are one of those places where we carry tension even if we're not aware of it. So this simple movement, a nice way, perhaps just to start to free up some of that stuck energy. Come back to the center and just rest for a couple of breaths. Make sure you're not slouching, keep lifting up through the collarbones. And now just take your right hand to the floor out in line with your hips. Take your left arm straight up and then bend your elbow and just gently bring your left hand to your right ear. And see if you can keep your right palm anchored down, but gently lift up through the right ear and see if you can find a little stretch for the side of your neck. Be nice and gentle here and think of lifting the right ear rather than dropping the left. And just take another breath or two here. And after your next out breath, just reach your left arm up and lift up through the crown, and then we'll repeat that on the second side. So bring your left hand down by your side, take your right arm straight up, and then bend your elbow and take your right hand to your left ear. And again, just start to lift the left ear up. You can experiment with just turning your head a little bit or dropping the chin a little bit to find where you get the greatest benefit. And again, try to keep your left palm down. So it feels like you're lifting away from the left wrist. And again, just give yourself one or two more nice slow breaths here. And after breathing out once more, again, just lift up through the crown of the head, raise the right arm, and then bring your right hand down by your side. And with your hands on the floor, just give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. You might like to change direction. Then take your hands out to the sides with the palms up. We're going to take a little simple prana mudra, so moving the arms with the breath. So just breathe out all the way to begin. And as you breathe in slowly and deeply, raise your arms up past your head. Now if you're tight in the shoulders, you don't have to bring the arms even to the vertical. But if you're comfortable, you can bring the hands together. And as you breathe out, slowly press the palms wide and bring your hands gently back down to where they started. And again, as you breathe in, just reach up, trying to synchronize the movement of the body with the movement of the breath. And gently bring the arms down as you breathe out, and just close your eyes and take that a few times at your own pace. So again, you're trying to feel the movement, that it's consistent, synchronized, and even. And as well as reaching up through the hands, have a sense of reaching up through the crown of the head. And just give yourself maybe 1 or 2 more rounds here, just moving smoothly at your own pace. And then just bring your hands back onto your knees, palms facing down. And again, slide your elbows back by the sides of the body. Lift the collarbones and gently drop the chin to the throat in Jalandhara Bandha. Settle there for a couple of breaths. And after your next exhalation, just let your body gently fold forward. So keep your hands a good shoulder width apart. Wider is better than narrower. And you might like to just rock side to side to free up your sit bones a little bit. And keep reaching out through your hands. And reach forward through the crown of the head. And just see if you can lengthen around your armpits, around the lower back. And make sure that you're not shrugging your shoulders, so keep them moving out to the sides. Give yourself just 1 or 2 more breaths here. And after exhaling once more, gently bring your body back up. Reach up to your hands, and interlacing your fingers, just press up through the palms. As you take another breath in, reach a little bit higher and try to pull your elbows and shoulders gently back. And breathing out, bring your hands down. You can either choose to just lean back and swap your legs, or if you'd like to, you can press down through your hands and lift the hips. And then you might like to pick up the feet and swap the legs in midair, or just picking up the hips and then swapping the legs. Or of course, just leaning back. And once you've swapped the legs over to the other side, again, just start to gently bring your body forward. And again, that little swaying or rocking movement helps to free up the sit bones. It just might help you to move a little more easily into your forward fold. Nothing wrong with bringing a little movement into the body. You don't need to be rigid. In fact, I want you to try to be soft. To try to use only the effort that you need. Again, maybe rolling the head side to side or turning it a little bit is helpful to soften around the neck. The 2 sides might feel a little bit different. That's okay. We're getting to know the body without getting worried about it, without any sense of judgment of its imbalances. And just calmly breathe out once more here. And after you exhale, again bring the body back up. Raise your arms high as you breathe in, and with the opposite thumb on top, interlace and again press up through the palms. Lift up, pull the elbows back and take another smooth breath in. And then gently bring the arms down. And pressing into your hands again, maybe just stay there or lift the hips for a moment. Maybe pick up the feet for a moment. And then gently bring your hips back to the mat. Take your right foot to the outer left hip and your left foot to the outer right knee. So coming into Ardha Matsyendrasana 1. Make sure that your left sit bone is pressing down so you're not lifting the hip but rather anchored through both sit bones. And gently wrap your right arm around the front of your left leg. Start to turn to the left, making sure that the spine's quite straight, that you're lifting through the crown of the head. And if you feel comfortable there after a breath or two, perhaps take your arm up and over to the outside of your knee. You might like to just bring the right hand down onto your right foot. It's a nice way to gently lock your body into the twist. And again, try to keep pressing down through the left sit bone. And if you're comfortable there, turn your head to look over the left shoulder, but try to keep the left ear a little bit raised. And if you're very comfortable here, you might like to bring the right hand to the right knee or the inner left foot and just lock yourself into a slightly deeper bind. As you breathe in, lift up through the crown. As you breathe out, just gently turn your spine a little bit further. And after exhaling once more, turn your head to the right. Gently unravel the body. And then see if you can drop your left knee down onto the right in Gomukhasana. Now if you can't do that, just take a cross-legged position again and spend a couple of breaths resting with your hands again on the knees. Lift up through the spine. And once you feel that the sit bones are fairly evenly weighted, take your right arm up, take your left arm down, and see if you can bind your hands behind your back. Now if you can't bind, that's okay. Maybe use a strap or a shawl or any little arm extender that's handy. And again, try to have a sense of lifting up through the spine. And if you've got a comfortable bind, you can gently press your head back into the right elbow. But try not to let your elbow press the head forward. So we want the spine still to be quite straight. Just hold there for 1 or 2 more breaths. Remembering that smiling makes it easier. And then gently unravel your arms. Once you've unraveled the arms, just press your palms out to the side and pull your shoulders down for a moment, pulling the fingers gently back. And then maybe press the palms forward for a moment. And that'll just help to release the shoulders. Then lower your arms down. And bring the soles of your feet together. If you have sensitive knees, take the feet forward in Tarasana, so maybe 40 or 50 centimeters in front of the body. If your knees will allow it, bring the heels and the hips in close in Baddha Konasana. And I like to just tilt the hips a little forward, the sit bones back. And you might like to start with your hands behind you, pulling the shoulders down and back. Maybe give your knees a little bit of a butterfly. And if you're comfortable there, take hold of the ankles or the feet and try to create a little space for the chest to move forward between the upper arms. So it's like you're trying to drop the elbows and shoulders down and back, but the sternum, the heart lifting forward and up. And just hold there for a couple of breaths. Whether you press the soles of the feet together or open them out is really up to your body. So listen to what feels better for your hips and knees. If you're comfortable, close your eyes there, just for the last breath or two. And after your next calm out breath, just gently raise the chin, stretch the throat, and bring the chin in, and then gently breathe out. Then picking up your knees, bring them together. Start with your feet on the ground, the floor, the mat. Lift your collarbones up. And then lean back and see if you can find a balance point. So Brahmandasana, the cosmic egg. See if you can close your eyes and just feel that point of perfect balance. Make sure the shoulders and face remain relaxed. And just gently breathe out once more here. After you exhale, open the eyes, bring your feet back to the floor, and then take your left foot to the outer right hip and your right foot to the outer left knee. And again, just make sure you're not sitting on your left foot so you can shuffle it a bit further forward if necessary. Then take your left arm around your right knee. Just take a moment to initiate your twist, feeling that again the hips are anchored down, the spine is upright, and keep lifting through the crown of the head. Use the right hand to help lengthen the spine and the left arm to gently deepen the twist. So there's a little pressure between the arm and the leg. And if you feel comfortable there, take your left arm outside the knee, and you might like to bring the left hand onto the foot, just gently locking yourself into that twist. Take slow, relaxed abdominal breaths here. It's important that we don't harden the belly in these simple twists, so we want to feel that the breath is still moving into the lower lungs. The breath pressing a little back into the sides of the waist, and the kidneys and lower back. And again, if you're turning to look over the shoulder, keep the right ear a little bit raised so the right side of the neck stays long. And then if you did on the first side, you might bring left hand onto the left knee or inner right foot, which will deepen the twist and the hip stretch. And again, try to keep lifting up. Give yourself just one or two more slow breaths here. Anchor down through the hips, lift up through the head. And after your next out breath, just gently turn your head to the left, unravel the arms, and again see if you can drop your right knee down onto the left. So coming back into Gomukhasana. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. Place your hands on your knees for a moment. Remember, cross-legged is a good alternative. Gomukhasana is just an exaggerated cross-leg. Once you feel settled in your variation, take the left arm up, take the right arm down. And again, see if you can bind your hands behind the back. This is the tight side for most people. There are exceptions. So again, don't force the body. If you need to use a strap or something else to extend the arms, that's fine. And again, if you have a relatively comfortable bind, have that sense of gently pressing your head back, this time into the left elbow. Feel the hips gently dropping down as the head lifts up. And if you're comfortable again, you might like to feel like you're gently pulling your arms away from each other. Just give yourself a last breath or two here. Try and soften both shoulders, especially in the front of the shoulders. And after exhaling once more, just gently release the arms, press the palms wide for a couple of breaths, pull your shoulders down, pull the fingers gently back. And then maybe press the arms forward like you're making two stop signs, again helping to release the shoulders. And lower your hands down, uncross the legs. And again, just wrap your arms around the shins, this time keeping your feet on the mat. Squeeze the knees outwards for a breath against the arms. And then gently squeeze them inwards against each other. And after exhaling once more there, we're going to take Pavatanasana, just a little stretch for the shoulders. So you can do this with bent legs or straight legs, it's your choice. You want your hands back about 25 or 30 centimeters behind the hips. And if you've got sore wrists, instead of doing this on the palms, you can do it on the fists with wrists facing each other. To start with, pull your shoulders back, lift the collarbones up, start to feel a stretch across the collarbones. And then either with bent legs or straight legs, see if you can lift the hips up high. Keep the elbows unlocked Try and press your shoulders towards the hips. And if you're neck sensitive, stay looking forward. If it feels okay, see if you can raise the face to the sky. So we're not dropping the head back, but lifting it up. See if you can hold there for one more smooth breath. And then gently lower your hips down. And rolling over, come to lying down on your stomach. So I want you to start just with your head on your hands. Try to have your feet hip width apart and reach out through your big toes. And you might like to just rock your hips gently side to side. Sometimes it's a nice way to help release the back. I want you to make sure you can still feel the breath in the belly and the resistance of the breath pressing back towards the kidneys. And after your next out breath, bring your elbows underneath your shoulders and lift into half cobra Ardha Bhujangasana. We want to feel like the shoulders are again pulling back. And your elbows should feel like they're squeezing towards the hips, like you're trying to gently pull the body forwards along the floor. Keep reaching out to the big toes. And again, try not to harden your belly here so you can engage Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor. But it's important that you don't unnecessarily harden the stomach. Keep the chest moving forward, the shoulders down and back. And take one more smooth breath here. You might like to raise the chin for the last breath. And then bring your chin down, lower your body back down and turn your head the other way. And just rest your head. You might like to untuck the feet for a moment and just give the soles of the feet a little stretch out. And then gently maybe rock the hips side to side, releasing the lower spine. And after your next out breath, bring the head centered again. Reach out through the big toes, gently press the feet down. Squeeze your elbows in and back and take a little active arch for the spine. Again, try to keep the belly relatively soft. Squeeze the elbows and shoulder blades back. And after your next breath, either drop back onto the elbows in half cobra or now bring your hands under the shoulders and see if you can lift a little bit higher into Bhujangasana. So again, we want the shoulders down, the elbows in. And you can look up if you'd like, but sometimes it's nice, particularly if you've got a bit of tension in the back of the neck. I find it's nicer to look down just a little in front of the hands. Keep lengthening from the navel to the throat, and at the same time reach out to the big toes. So the legs are staying in a neutral position, not really turned in or out, but just straight and parallel. Take one more breath, maybe lifting a little higher. You might like to hold the breath for a moment. And then once more lower the body all the way down. And turn your head to the least comfortable side, whatever that may be. Take a couple of relaxed abdominal breaths, again maybe rocking the hips gently side to side. And once you feel ready, once the hips have released, again just bring your head back to the center, squeeze the elbows in, lift the chest. And this time you might like to interlace the hands behind the back for a couple of breaths and pull the shoulder blades a little further back, just deepening that stretch in the collarbones. Take one more breath here, maybe lifting a little bit higher, and then either drop back onto the elbows or the palms under shoulders, or if you'd like, make a little diamond shape with the thumb and first finger and pressing your hands down under the face. Lift into Bhujangini, which is female cobra, so Bhujangasana, male cobra, Bhujangini, female cobra. This posture is a little bit stronger for most people than Bhujangasana. Again, you can see the shoulders are down and back, the elbows are in, and it should feel like you're pulling the body forwards along the floor. Take one more smooth breath here. And again, maybe hold the breath in the chest for a moment. And lower the body all the way down and breathe out. And again, just have a little rest.
Untuck the feet if you'd like. Give the soles of the feet a little stretch out. And gently rock your hips from side to side. And after your next out breath, bring your elbows under your shoulders like you're doing half cobra. But instead we're going to take a forearm plank. So keep the forearms parallel. You can start just by lifting the hips up. So forearms, knees and feet on the mat. And if you're comfortable from there, pick up your knees as well. So coming into a full forearm plank. And you can either stay there or you might like to drop the heels to the left for a breath or two. Notice the hips stay down low so we're not lifting them up. And then come back to the centre and maybe drop your heels to the right. Take one more breath here. And after you breathe out, gently come back to the centre and lower your body down. And then roll over onto your back. You might like to rest once you're lying down with your hands just below the navel. Take your feet out towards the edges of your mat and let the knees drop together. So we're just letting the outer hips have a little stretch out. The inner hips are completely relaxed. And just take a couple of abdominal breaths there. And after exhaling once more, bring your feet together. Place one hand on each knee so the knees are over your hips and just start to make gentle circles with your knees. I want you to feel the sacrum rolling in circles on the mat. And then gently change direction, go back the other way. So these are quite small circles, but they're smooth and fluid, fairly effortless. Come back to the centre. And now take your hands out to the sides, a little away from the body, and start to make circles with your knees without using the hands. I want you to try and keep your inner knees touching. And if it feels okay, you can make those circles a little bit bigger, but that's not essential. And then circle back the other way. So again, nice and smooth, nice and even, consistent movement. And once you've done about the same on both sides, hug the knees more tightly into the chest. Rest there for a breath or two. And then stretch your right leg out along your mat and hug the left knee a little more tightly in. If you feel okay to do stronger stomach work, come into a half sit-up position. And then without the body dropping down, see if you can release your hands forwards. You can either stay there or you might like to straighten your left leg out to about 45 degrees away from the horizontal and maybe sit the body up a little bit higher if that feels okay. Keep your chin to your throat, taking one more breath wherever you are. And then lie back down, hug the left leg into the body once more, and then stretch it out and swap to the other side. To start with the right knee hugged into the chest. And again, if you're doing stomach work, come into a half sit-up position. Staying there is fine, but otherwise without the body dropping down, just release your arms and reach out to the fingers. Again, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. And again, stay there or stretch your right leg out. And maybe sit up a little bit higher if that feels okay. Take one more breath here. And after you exhale, gently lie back down, hug your right leg into the body, and then stretch it out along the mat. Stretch your arms over your head, lengthening into fingers and toes. You might like to give your hips a little rock from side to side. Then bring your arms down by your sides, coming into your Shavasana position. So if your lower back feels sensitive, you can bend your knees, either just feet wide and knees together, or maybe with a bolster underneath them. And try to have your arms a little away from the body with palms up so the shoulders relax. Once you've settled into your position, whatever that may be, gently breathe out all the way. And with closed eyes, smoothly breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in and just continue counting to yourself now. Take between 3 and 5 more rounds of Ujjayi Pranayama, the balance of inhalation and exhalation. And each time you breathe out, just see if you can lengthen the exhalation and soften the body. Especially relax around your face, your eyes, your mouth. Relax the jaw, the tongue, the shoulders. Relax your hips, letting the toes drop out a little further. And once you've finished your 3 to 5 breaths, just allow your breathing to return to its own rhythm. See if you can stay with the body still. And let the breath start to soften of its own accord. See if you can keep the mind just following your breath. Aware of its rhythm, riding its rise and fall, but without the need to comment or get involved. Whenever you do notice that your mind has drifted off, just recognise for a brief moment what it was that distracted you, and then simply return to your inner focus on the breath. Coming back again and again and again to that single-pointed inner focus, that inner dharana. Resting for the last few minutes of the practice, let body, breath and mind return to stillness.
Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sharike Sharanye Triambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Just begin to gently lengthen and deepen your breath again. Reconnecting with that subtle inner movement. And once you've taken a few deeper breaths, you can start to very slowly and gently reawaken to outward movement, starting with the fingers and the toes, and the wrists and the ankles. And when you're ready, take your arms all the way past your head, stretching from toe tips to fingertips. From there, gently bend your knees and roll onto your side and rest with your head on the outstretched arm. Take a few breaths there, and when you feel ready, come back to a seated position, however feels comfortable for you. Close your eyes again. Let go of any last bits of unnecessary physical, mental or emotional effort. And see if you can stay connected to the inner stillness of Shavasana once you leave the practice space. Bring your palms together in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, and join me for one long Om to close our practice. Breathing in together. Om. And taking a deep breath in, reach your arms over your head, lengthening all the way up through the spine and into the hands. And as you exhale, bring your hands to the crown, to the brow, to the throat, and to the heart. And with awareness resting in the heart space, gently release your spine forward one last time. And then gently sit back up. Namaste. Thank you for sharing the practice with me, and thank you for taking some time to hang out with yourself. And I hope to see you again sometime soon. Thank you very much.